This yellow Land Cruiser pickup was purchased by AFM missionaries Sean and Joella Brizendine for their project in Amma. We have been using it as we work towards building their house. Unfortunately, an accident occurred while on a test drive after some repairs.
So he was coming along here, and this tree, he decided to try to give it a little bit of space, and his wheel caught off of the edge. And he was unable to recover, and it took him off, and it rolled. They want to try to tip it back on its legs so it'll be easier for the machine to get it out.
Jason was the one who was driving, and we are praising God there were no major injuries. But now we were faced with the challenge of getting the truck back on the road. On Tuesday, August 26, we went with a small group of guys to see if we could get it out. It started out as a rainy day, but the rain stopped after a little while. Thankfully, we did continue to have cloud cover, though, so it wasn't a super hot day. But it turned out the truck was a lot more stuck than we had hoped. And so they worked at it and worked at it, tried many different things. Oh, ow. Dad cut his hand on the broken windshield glass on the very first attempt. So then we had to try to figure out a way to bandage that for him for the rest of the day. But each attempt to get it pulled out met with failure. With the driver's side back tire and the passenger side front tire both spinning, we determined that it was probably hung up on the front and rear diff. And the belly of the truck was just stuck in the mud, and the tires couldn't do anything about it. So the guys used their ingenuity to jack the vehicle up on one side so that they could get rocks underneath the tire. So we've got it jacked up high enough that the tire over on that side is loose and able to spin by hand. So now they're packing stones underneath it so that when we let it down again, it will still be up higher. They also worked to get a little drainage ditch dug so that the water around the vehicle could be drained out.
Trying to get a little bit of that water out of here.
Once the one side was done, then they moved to the other side to try to pick it up. But we just didn't have quite enough people to get this side up high enough. And they were having a hard time figuring out a place to put the jack underneath to be able to maintain the height while they readjusted the log.
1, 2, 3, go! Oh, I'm sick.
The little tiny jack we had just had to always be repositioned and built up and everything, so it was a real struggle. Ultimately, we just didn't have enough people to get this side of the vehicle up high enough to get rocks underneath this tire on this side. Okay, here we go again. We're gonna give this a shot. praying that the angels will be pulling and pushing with us.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, go.
But it still wouldn't budge. Maybe half an inch. But that front tire was just completely stuck. A poisonous snake came to visit us in the grass as well. Thankfully, it did not bite anyone. The guys noticed it and killed it. Okay, so pushing and pulling didn't help, so let's add some weight and see if we can get that tire to grab while also rocking it side to side. But no, that didn't do the trick. Maybe we can just rock it side to side without any weight in the back and see if that will make it move. But still no. That truck just was not going to move with the few people we had. So we covered it up for the night. And we came back the next day with a bunch more people. Thankfully today it wasn't raining, so there were a lot more young men willing to come and help. Okay, here we are on day number 2, attempting to get the truck out of the swamp and back up onto the road. But the first step is to get all that windshield glass out of the way so that we don't have any more injuries caused by it. First attempt of the day to get the truck unstuck was pulling on the conda, or the bush vine, and it immediately broke. Conda bruco geta. Because it was tied to a sharp edge on the front of the truck. But before they did any more attempts at pulling the truck out, they decided to get the front corner jacked up so that we could get rocks underneath the front driver's side tire. It took a few tries to figure out the configuration of how many sticks and with people lifting on them and where to place them to finally get the front corner to lift. But eventually we got it figured out, and with this many more guys on it, it just lifted it right up. At first they didn't have enough big logs to be able to really get good leverage, but they cut down a couple more and then had much better success.
1, 2, 3, go. Okay, now kita suruh ko daw. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
But they were just trying to hold it up there just by brute strength, and that wasn't working too well. So they got a large stick with a Y on the end of it to be able to brace the log once they got it up where they wanted it. Now that both front tires had rocks under them, they felt confident that they could make an attempt to push, pull, and would actually have some success this time. So some in the back pushing, some in the front pulling, and the big log in the back to provide additional leverage as well as to lift the rear as the vehicle moved forward.
1, 2, 3, go!
We got a little bit of movement, but they needed to readjust that log in the back. So they took some time to do that, got it readjusted. And then let's go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, go!
Success at last. Thank you, Jesus. Now he just had to get it straightened out so that it wouldn't be at an angle when he tried to come up the little mountain onto the road.
Wait, and by reverse again.
Next thing, let me ask you one. Coaching goes thank you, okay? What you want? Barbara, what? Thank you. What else you go for? This guy step on top. Thank you. What you want?
We are just praising the Lord that he helped us get it out of the muck and swamp before the water came up and flooded the vehicle even more. And the truck is still usable. It's not as pretty as it used to be, but it will still do the job. After getting it back on the road, we had to drive it back out to the main highway. Going past a large hole in the road. And we stopped by a mountain stream where the guys could get washed up a little bit before we headed back to Tipas. And the little yellow mission truck is back in operation. We are just praising God that there were no major injuries and that it did not delay our work any more than it did. We will soon be headed to Amma to start building the mission house for AFM missionaries Sean and Joella Brizendine.